And here we are at the subject at hand. Is there an easy way to remove a Santorum-covered condom after anal sex without getting Santorum on your hands or jizz on the bed? Or is that just one of those sex is messy, get used to it things? I get credit for Santorum, for the lowercase Santorum, that frothy mix of lube and fecal matter that is sometimes, and only sometimes, because if you're doing it right, it won't happen, sometimes the byproduct of anal sex. It really wasn't me. I wrote something bitching about Santorum. A reader of Savage Love wrote in and said, you should do a contest where we come up with a sex act that doesn't have a name, and we name it after Rick the Dick, in honor of him, to forever humiliate and commemorate the man-on-dog horseshit, which just was not an attack on gay and lesbian people, but was an attack on straight people too. Because he was arguing in that interview for Texas and other states' sodomy laws that criminalize not just the gay butt fucking, but the straight butt fucking too, and the straight masturbating, which he would like to regulate. I would too, that's my dream job. I'd like to work in a boys' high school where I regulate the masturbatory schedule. No, I'm sorry, you've already had 3 today, that's your limit. And I put that in the column because I thought it was a good idea. Readers wrote in with suggested definitions. I put it back in the column, and all y'all who read the column, who took the time, voted on it, and chose the frothy mix of lube and fecal matter that sometimes byproduct of anal sex, which is brilliant! It was the collective wisdom of Savage Love readers, because we all got it, because he hates anal sex. Sorta. Nobody who really hates it thinks about it that much. And just like the real senator, when Santorum the substance shows up, it's a buzzkill. Santorum the substance is the end of fun. It's shower time. Santorum the senator, the end of fun. And send him to the showers time, y'all, when you vote.
And what I can tell from what I see in this room tonight and what I heard when I was kind of backstage is this is a group of Pennsylvanians. And if anyone's from outside the state, well, we welcome your help as well. A group of Pennsylvanians who are ready to win in 2006.
Largely from a lot of our work with organizations like Move On, League of Conservation Voters. Ray, who was a Philadelphia organizer for Move On, saw this great enthusiasm among the volunteers who really were responsible for helping Pennsylvania to go for carry in 2004. Unfortunately, our efforts were not mirrored in every state across the country, but everyone afterwards still expressed a lot of enthusiasm for wanting to stay involved. And one of the biggest responses we got was that people wanted to stay involved because they really wanted to work to defeat Santorum in 2006. So Philadelphians Against Santorum was formed as a way for people to get involved and do this.
The question is, how will Philadelphians Against Santorum, though, make a difference? We're all Philadelphians. 3 out of 4 of us are Democrats. Everyone here is going to vote, right? We should be out in the suburbs. We should go to Elk County. We should change the minds of people who support Rick Santorum. Well, those things are all true, and there are organizations who are doing that, but there's a lot of work for us to do right here in our own backyard. Even though 3 out of 4 of us are registered as Democrats, less than 50% of all Philadelphians vote in any non-presidential year election. That's a staggering amount of people who, when election day comes, they stay home.
With your enthusiasm, we're going to kick Rick out of office in November, and then we're going to keep on working in 2007 and 2008, and we're going to work to make Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the entire United States a much more progressive country.
Big oil. Never has there been a greater contrast, I don't think, between 2 points of view and 2 candidates. Rick Santorum has voted time and again for billions in taxpayer subsidies for the very oil companies that have our price of gasoline at record levels. The same crowd, like ExxonMobil, that got a quarterly profit of $10.4 billion, a daily profit of over $100 million. I think it was $114 million every day, and they're getting our subsidies. Why is it that we don't have a senator in Pennsylvania in this seat who would take those billions of dollars and do the right thing with taxpayer money, to invest those billions, I'll get to it in a moment, to invest those billions in alternative energy, renewable sources of energy, so we can do three things at once: create jobs, reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and protect our environment. That's what we should have done with those billions of dollars. Because Rick Santorum voted that way, he's going to get a lot of, and has already gotten, a lot of big oil money. You may not know this, but I think we should tell all of our neighbors this. Rick Santorum is number 3 in the Republican leadership. But what he won't tell you is that he's number 2 in all of the Congress in big oil contributions. He has gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars and has stuffed his political pockets with all of that big oil money. So on Election Day, when we're sending a lot of messages, and as we win this race, we should send a message that we want a senator not just from Pennsylvania, we want a senator who's not for ExxonMobil, and that's what we have right now. And it's a big contrast between the two of us. We're going to be talking a lot tonight about Iraq. Here's the fundamental difference between what Rick Santorum has been saying and doing on the question of Iraq and what I would do as a U.S. Senator. He does not and has not asked the tough questions of his president at a time of war. He doesn't have the independence to ask those tough questions and to demand answers at a time of war. We need a senator in this seat who's going to be politically independent, especially on the grave question of war. We don't have that right now. But also an issue that came up in our debate. The issue is family planning as it's done through emergency contraception, which I believe should be funded, which I believe should be made widely available. It's the right thing to do. We're in a city right now where there are over 5,000 gun dealers in Philadelphia. And we have 5,000 gun dealers and only, at last count, 27 ATF agents enforcing the law that cause a lot of havoc. And in many cases, because they're breaking the law, the currently existing law, they're making it a tragedy for a lot of people in Pennsylvania and destroying lives in this city. So we need to get very tough on something where there is consensus, we can pass legislation, increase the number of ATF agents, and I think it's one way to bridge the divide on this issue.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Here's what more of the same means for Pennsylvania and for America. More of the same means that we're represented by a U.S. Senator who voted himself a pay raise 3 times, but he voted 13 times against raising the minimum wage for hardworking Americans. We should raise the minimum wage at the federal level at long last. We are represented by a U.S. Senator in Pennsylvania who votes with this president and has voted with this president 98% of the time. And everyone in this audience tonight knows that when you have 2 politicians in Washington, D.C. who agree 98% of the time, one of them is really not necessary in that. So,
let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it.
the major way that we have to wage a campaign like this, unfortunately, is not what we're doing tonight. The most important thing I have to do to make sure we win this race is to raise money. I think we've done well.
Progressive organizations really fill that need for people who want to be involved but just don't find a way, don't really see the opportunities there through the existing political structure.
If I rule the world, if I rule, I free all my sons. If I rule the world. world.